Hi everyone, I'm Gaelen McCormick and I teach at the Eastman Community Music School here in Rochester, New York. This tutorial is for the high school all-county orchestra from Monroe County, and this one is going to cover the Dvorak Carneval Overture. This is a really cool overture and we play it all the time in the Rochester Philharmonic. And I want to give you a couple hints. I'm not going to play the whole thing down from top to bottom. I'm just going to give you a couple hints on some of the sections that are more challenging. So as you're practicing, you can jump right to those sections and just knock out your practicing on those. And then if you want to do a playthrough, what I suggest is you go to iTunes or Spotify, find a good recording. And I mean, like, find a high-level orchestra like Chicago, Cleveland, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, or find a big one from Europe, find like Berlin, a Concertgebouw. Just find a good recording like that. Please don't go for like your friend's high school orchestra. No offense to your friend. Play along with them if you want to play through the whole overture and make sure you got it. The first thing I want you to notice about this is that it's in cut time, which means it's going to be in 2, and it's allegro. And allegro is kind of a squishy tempo. It doesn't necessarily mean it's fast or it's moderate. It's always hard to say. Think carnival. Energy, color, dynamic, you know, this is usually pretty quick. You'll find out when you listen to a recording. So it's usually something like this. So I checked my metronome, it was about 132. Your tempo might vary, right? It depends on your conductor, but I would bet it's going to be in the neighborhood of 120 to 132 as your target tempo. When you're practicing, I would say start back around 100. You know, be a comfortable tempo when you're practicing. So for today, where the first place I want to start is 2 measures before letter B. As we get going, I'm going to stop and give you some fingering suggestions, just a place to maybe knock off some time so you don't have to think through everything. If they don't work for you, don't do them. I have some bowing suggestions too. Now your conductor might not like them, so don't get married to these suggestions, but you might want to lightly pencil them in as you go along. So here's 2 before letter B. If we're going 1 and 2 and 1 and. Did you see right at letter B, I did a new down bow on the half note. That's going to happen a lot throughout this whole piece. When you have the second beat, if we were counting in 4, is a half note, you're often going to do that again as a down bow. Right in the beginning, some people do down, down. My old part here from the RPO is marked up, down. So I'm not sure which way your conductor's going to like that. It depends how punchy they like the first beat. But almost always that half note is going to be down bow. Okay, so continuing on now from where I was, I want to show you this fingering before we play it together. Now I'm in the 3rd line. We have a whole series of quarter notes going up, starting from F sharp. So that high A, I don't bother going up to play it closed. It just, I don't have time to go whoosh, whoosh. It's a lot of travel. I mean, that's over a foot of fingerboard. I don't have time at this tempo. When I'm really playing, I don't have time to actually execute that well. So what I chose was, this finger's on B, but that A harmonic is right here. It's just behind it. You know where that is. If I closed it, it would be the A. It's a tuning harmonic. And then I just reach back a little further for the C sharp. So it's all in the same kind of area. F sharp, A, C sharp. And I do go all the way back to first position because I think it sounds really clear. If you want to stay up high, you can do that too. Whatever suits your fancy there. Let's play this whole thing from 2 before B at the under tempo together. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Of the octave E's. That's not rocket surgery. You're going to be fine with that. Okay, let's go down to the line below C. I don't have measure numbers. You're going to know where I'm talking about in a second. Looks like nothing on the page, but it's exposed, it's loud, and it's fast. And it's awesome. It's awesome. It's so great. I love it when this moment comes, because you got about one measure to get totally adrenaline up for it. It's just awesome. And you have this. 1, 2. So you have plenty of time to get up there. Oh, I was going to zoom in and show you what I'm going to do on this, because I love this fingering. You guys, I have spent so much time on this fingering. I've tried about maybe 5 or 6 different fingerings in my life trying to work this thing out. Okay, so D, E, F sharp. I set myself up in thumb position. Again, you don't have to, but I'd like double dog dare you to shift all of this on the G string and do it in time and do it cleanly. Ah! Okay, so here I am on F sharp. Then the A is over here on the G string. That's it for thumb position. Let's do that again. That's it. Now, end of the neck position, right? If you've worked with someone who does progressive larp like I do, we find it right here. See how the neck curves? Right here. Here's B, here's A. 4, 1, 1. Now I use this open G because I'm going back to first position and hanging out for the rest of it. And here you want to get quieter and quieter because it's just going away to nothing, so all the other instruments can get revealed. Let's do that together. I'm going to stop every time I have to shift. Find your note. 1 and 2. It's an awkward way to practice when we're trying to do it together. I get that. When you practice that way, you're really enforcing your brain. All of these are packed together. Now I go to this position, all of these are packed together. Now I go to this position. So there's only 3 places I played this on the bass. Thumb position, high position is what I call this. That's it for that one. And now I have this moment, first position. The other thing I suggest to my students when they practice something like this, where it's just like, it doesn't look that hard, but you have a lot of string crossings with the bow. Let me zoom out so you can see the bow work. Okay, when you're doing this with the bow is I might also take a moment to go, okay, so my bow goes... It's not super patterned. I wish it was. It would be so much easier to slap that on if it was super patterned, but it's not. But it's helpful if you can go, okay, I can get this to the point where I can remember that pattern, I can get my bow on autopilot, and then start to put my hands together. Let's do this once together, super slow, and then I'm going to show you one more trick for practicing it so you can really get your left hand to be super solid. You guys, I have spent years practicing this, so please don't be dismayed if you practice this once or twice and you're like, I can't do it the way she does it. Okay, please, I have practiced this hours and hours, and you will get there. Get your F sharp? Ba 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 ba. 1 and 2. Oh, I shouldn't be bowing the upper line. When you get to this divisi now, I mean, it divided where the next line started, but you all had the same things. So now suddenly it's arco on top, pits on the bottom. You need to learn them both until you do your seating audition. And then people who have an odd number, that's called sitting on the outside of the stand. Odd numbers take the top part. Even number, that's called sitting on the inside of the stand. Assuming you're sharing a stand, even numbers turn the page, even numbers play the bottom part. That's just how that works. It's just kind of a rule in the orchestra. Doesn't mean anything about being better or worse. Just don't even think about it. It's just how the job is assigned. But for now, you need to learn them both. They're really easy. They're really the same. They're just an octave apart. Just make sure you have a look at both of them before you head in. Okay, so the one thing I want to show you about how to practice a long string of notes, whether they're 8th notes or 16th notes, doesn't matter. All that matters is that the rhythm keeps going the same. is I might do what's called a galloping rhythm. You get the idea? And then you flip it. That was hard at one point. Almost always one of them is going to be harder than the other for you. If they're both equally hard, do them both. For me, the second one was harder, which means I got to keep doing that one because something about it is challenging me. And once that one can be as easy as the first one, then I can go back to... Know what I mean? All right, let's turn over to the next page. The next thing I'd like to work on is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines down. It's after some pizzicatos, it's arco, and it's dotted quarter, eighth note, dotted quarter, eighth note. Goes like this. It's leading up to letter G, okay? So it's about 7 measures before G. It's not that it's so hard. So when you have this rhythm, I have it printed in my part, and I'm not sure if you do too, as down, down, up, down, up. So it's a hooked bowing, right? All the way through. You guys are good at this. You wouldn't be going to all county if you weren't good at this. The thing I teach my students is to shift between the dotted note and the eighth note. You don't have to. You can shift right on that big change in the middle of the measure. I find it more convenient to shift it during the natural space. Shift, shift. Because we're always going to put a gap there anyway, so you might as well get the shift out of the way. It is not as natural with the rhythm, but it's something I was trained in to do, so I'm just offering you that if you'd like to take advantage of it. Now the next thing I'd like you to focus on is the pizzicato section that's right afterwards. Just because it's rangy, you know, the caveat, the warning I have to give you is I've lost my hearing, so I don't always know that my pitch is correct, so I'm not going to play that for you. You can listen to it, know if it's right, and the best way to know is to actually use your bow. Train your left hand, use your bow, know that it's right, and then if you have to do it for seating audition, you'll know I've trained my hand. I know that the shifts are correct. Ah yeah, letter O. Here we go at letter O. 1 and 2 and... Before I go on, I did a double up in the second measure of O. You might do a retake, I don't know, but you really don't want to come out backwards in this. It's not going to feel strong for fortissimo. So chances are good they're either going to give you a double up there or they're going to go down up. Now you can do this one of 2 ways for the next thing. 1, and pick your poison there. Do you like 3? Do you like 1? What's your favorite way of hitting the high A? I really wouldn't do this one as the harmonic like I said a second ago. It's just kind of like the, it's just not as strong. You have time to get there this time, not like the last example I gave. So I like 1, 3. The book I'm playing out of, which is a bunch of RPO parts, actually suggests this. Thumb 1 is strong if you like thumb position and you know thumb position well. So tell yourself, what was the thing I play A with that I can always get there in tune? It doesn't matter if you're different from everyone in this section. Just do the thing that you do best. So I'll do my thing I do best, which is 3 on this. So the things I'm trying to bring out in that last passage are when we had half notes, they had dots, and my part also had the word marcato. So that means I want them really solidly short, almost quarter note short, but really, really solid, so every note sounded like a down bow. And then the next part we had FZ, fancy for forzando, which is a pretty socket to you accent. Then at letter P, do you see that they put fortissimo and a caret or a hat on top of the notes? You really have to bring out that those accents are not on the beat. It happens through the whole orchestra, but boy, when the basses do it too, it makes a huge difference. That it's not just, oh, those pesky violins, crack, crack, whoomp, right? When the bass section does it, it's amazing. This is something personally I would test for if I was doing your seating audition, because that's a level of detail that really shows me you prepared the part very, very well. Okay, why letter W, Miss Gaelen? It looks really easy. What are you talking about? Letter W has 3 Italian words that say poco più mosso, a little more fast. Remember, we've already been going yum bum. This now goes into 1 when we do it in RPO. Yum bum, 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 bum. So I just want you to be aware of that. If your conductor has too much coffee, so I just want you to be aware of that. Don't prepare it like scary fast, but just be aware of that. Let's look at W together as in like yum bum, bum bum, bum bum, bum bum. 1, 2, 1, 2. So see the A's, they're half notes with a right across them. That single slash tells you have to remember that they're eighth notes for however long the head of the note is. And since the head is a half note, it's a half note's worth of A's. So that's 4, 4, 4, 4. All those measures are full of eighth notes. It would be better if you can spring the bow. Kind of a heavy spring. If you have to be on the string, really get down into the string so it's not, you don't want it legato, then it's going to wind up sounding really muddy. So do the best you can to get a little bit away from the frog and spring the bow. The fingering I chose at 5 after W might be helpful to you. I shoot up, then cross to G. Now use 4 so that you're ready for the A on the D string. All right, you got this. I mean, it's only a few places. I know I talked a lot, but it's really only a few places to practice down. See you there. Good luck.